In this module, we'll walk through some examples from Chapter 6, Filtering Your Data. Down at the bottom of my query window, I have some examples from the end of the chapter. We're going to take a look at the bowling league example. So I'm going to use bowling league example. I'll execute. And we want a list of tournaments held during September 2007. Now there are a number of ways that I can do this, and I'll select the first one. Just to give you an example, I'm going to select tourney date, tournament location from tournaments where the tourney date is between, notice how I have the date put together, 2007, 09, 01, and 2007, 09, 30. And I do have the second select statement commented out, but as long as I don't select the comments, I can still run it. So let's execute it and see what we get. We get the 4 tournaments that are held during September. This matches with the answer that's in your book. But notice the look of the date. So what I've done with this is that taking the materials that we learned in the last chapter, I've cast the tourney date as date to give it a better look. I've also given it an alias. I'm going to go ahead and grab this section of the code and I'll execute it. This in the middle will be ignored because it's commented out. And so now I have the date showing as date, and I have given it an alias of tournament date so that you can see the difference between the field name and the alias. And the date is a little easier to read, and there's the tournament location. I'm going to comment out this first where statement and put this one back in so that you can see that I don't have to put the hyphens in. I can still get it to run. I'll execute, come up with the same thing. Now what would happen if I left the apostrophes out? Let's just see this. I'm going to grab it again and run it. And here I get an arithmetic overflow. Sometimes I get an empty set. So the apostrophes around the date are needed. So I'll put those back in. I'll run it again to show that it does work. And I'm going to change my comment here and put this one back in and run it again. So we combined some of the information that we learned in the last chapter with cast and alias and with our between and predicate from chapter 6. So let's take a look at another one. This is our tournament schedule for Bolero lanes, Red Rooster lanes, and Thunderbird lanes. And again, I included the cast to make the date easier to read, and where tourney location in, and I have Bolero lanes, Red Rooster lanes, Thunderbird lanes. And we have 9. Your book says 6, but the real answer is 9. There are 9 tournaments that are being held at these 3 lanes. Let's take a look at our last one here. This is the East Side Bowlers, and I've done it a couple of different ways. First, I'm going to do the in. So I have selected the bowler first name, bowler last name, bowler city, team ID from bowlers where the bowler city in Bellevue, Bothell, Duval, Redmond, and Woodinville, and team ID in 5, 6, 7, or 8. I'll execute it. It works. Now you have to be careful with your spelling. What if we spelled Woodinville Woodinville? It's not going to figure it out. The spelling has to be correct. And now I'll put the comment back in on these, and we'll do it the way that it was shown in the book with team ID between 5 and 8. And 5 and 8 are not enclosed by apostrophes. So what do we think is going to happen? It worked. And if I come down to team ID is an integer. It's a number. So I'm feeding a number to a number field. Let's take a look at a couple of our examples from our demo. And we want to list all the products that have color black. And so I'll select all and run it. What happened there? Now, if this were a real classroom, I'd sit here and wait until he gave me the answer. But there's nothing wrong with my query, and it's telling me I don't understand the table. That's because I'm trying to find this table in the Bowling League database, and it's not going to work. I have to use the AdventureWorks database. Now let's try it again. I retrieved all of those where the color is black. We'll take a look at the next one. Again, no apostrophes around the dollar amount because it's a number in a number field. Currency is a number. And so I'm going to select all from the products where the list price is greater than $1,000. I get 86 rows. Take a look at the list price, and as I move down, I should see that there is nothing under $1,000. As a matter of fact, since it's greater than $1,000, I should not even see $1,000 in here. Let's see if we have anything for $1,000. I'm going to change this to greater than equal to, and I'll try it again. I don't see anything, but an easier way to do that would be simply to do equal to. And I have nothing for $1,000. So I'll put it back. So I'm just testing my data. And I really encourage you to do this. As you're working through these queries, answer your own questions. Now I want to select all the fields from the product table where the color is black and the list price is greater than $1,000. So let's give this one a try. And because this is an AND condition, the records that are returned must satisfy both criteria. Let's walk through this again. When I select all that are black and execute it, I have 89 rows. All that are greater than $1,000, I have 86 rows. But which rows do I have that satisfy both conditions? I have 25 rows. So I should see a list price over $1,000 and the color black. What about if I have black or over $1,000? Is my record set going to get larger, smaller, or will it remain the same? Remember that in an OR condition, the records that are returned must satisfy one or the other of the criteria. So I'm guessing that I probably won't have '89 plus 86, which would give me, what, 175? Check my math on that. I think I'll have somewhere between 90 and 175. So let's see how that turns out. So I've guesstimated, and this is something that you should do when you're working with your data. 150. So I have ones that are black that are under $1,000 and ones that are over $1,000 but are a different color. So let's find all products that have the color black or color red or color silver. Notice how this is written. Color equal black or color equal red or color equal silver. you need to put in the color every time, the field. So what I'm going to do here to make this just a little easier for you to see is I'll go to my AdventureWorks database and into my tables and into my product, my columns, and I'm going to take color and I'm going to drop it right in here. So you see color is a field. Take this one out. I'll just put it in brackets so it's easier to see. I don't have to put it in brackets. I'm just trying to draw your attention to it so that you can see the difference between the criteria and the field. I'm going to select all. And I have 163 rows, and when I go down the color, I should see that it's black, red, or silver. Now an easy way to verify that is to put in an order by. So I'm going to order by color so that I can quickly look down my list and see I have black, red, and silver. By putting them in order, it's easier to look down the list and see them. Now I'm going to do the same thing, and I'll do the in, and I'm going to copy down my order by clause. Just to make it easier to see. 163 rows, black, red, and silver. And double check. 163 rows. I thought as much, but I didn't remember checking the row count down at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And now we're going to look at the effect of null values on filtering. So first I'm going to select all from my customer table. And we see that there are nulls. There are lots of nulls in this table. And now I want to find the 16 customers where the middle name is the initial B. I have 16 rows. Now I want to find out all those where the middle initial is not B. I have 225 rows. 16 plus 225 does not equal 407. So what happened to the rest of the customers? Let's run this again and look. Do we have any customers with null showing as the middle name? Those are the customers that are missing. So we have to do something about this group of customers, 166 of them. So we may need to do something like this. We're going to select those customers where the middle name is not equal to B or the middle name is null. When I run that, I get 391. When I add 16 to 391, I come up with 407, which is the total number of customers in my table. This is just an example that you need to be aware of the impact that null can have on the data that you're returning. So, as we showed here, a good idea is to understand your data first by doing a select statement and executing against the data, looking at it, noting how many rows you have. Maybe write a couple other queries with a couple of sorts so that you understand your data. Then when you start writing these more complex queries, you can look at the results and have an understanding of whether or not the query that you wrote is returning the number of records that you would expect.